Where I'm coming from is a small island in the Caribbean. The indigenous name is Ichi Roganum, and the English or the Eurocentric name is Barbados.
Most of the time, people do think that when someone is here to work on himself, we actually make a video of them, post it outside there without their knowledge. We say the same with you. So I want you to clarify that to us so that
No, no.
others watching will know that you actually understand to be on air like this.
Yeah, no. I mean, for me, it's straightforward. You're recording a video. You have a TV, online television station, and therefore, for me, it is straightforward that you will be using this for promotional purposes. But my brothers and Togbe has also indicated to me that they will be doing some recordings, and if I don't have any issues with my face being online, then I'm welcome to take part in whatever interviews the station is, conducting with me. So it's like a child crying. You can tell from the sound of the cry whether the distress is mild or whether the distress is intense based on the sound. So for me, it's the same thing. We're using sound when we're making invocation. We're making sound when we're trying to say something. And behind that sound is an intent. So if you relax enough and you listen, you can pick up the vibrational energy that is emanating within the space. Seeing him from most of the videos online, I don't remember ever seeing him smiling. And I said to myself, wow, this man doesn't smile. It's only when I got here then, the first meeting, that's the first time I saw him smile, when he said, okay, I have some spiritual weight for you.
Hello and y'all, welcome back to this channel. This is Kabacha TV, your #1 traditional TV station online that will bring you authentic and amazing traditions of our forefathers. You all might have known Pika Irakambere, this man from Barbados who had embarked on a journey to discover himself and also immerse himself in the ancient traditions of Vodu. We've already posted a video of him. If you haven't watched it yet, you can check right top here. The link is down inside the description also. It will take you straight to that particular video. Inside this video, he has also shared his days of being here and also some other things that I think you might also need to know or you might also need to watch. Please subscribe to this channel and press your bell notification as we will be bringing you a lot more amazing videos like this. See you on another episode after this video. Let's deep dive into the discussion.
My days with the village, my days with the people, my days with Togbi has been all pleasant, peaceful, calming, and I also believe that what contributes to that calmness and peace is the river, just flowing through the entire area. So there are no complaints. I've been happy, relaxed, and in a mood ready to do the work. Well, my understanding of Voodoo is more from the Upper West perspective, mostly related to the Dagara tribe or the Dagara ethnic group, where I have done the two levels of initiation, and I have been a part of that community in Upper West, crossing the Black Volta into Burkina Faso. The first village that we meet would be the Manwar village, and then the village the tongue in Laura. the same house, the same initiatory house crossing the river, moving into Burkina Faso. So for more than 10 years, I've been involved in that work as a diviner working with contumely energy, and also as a initiate within the house, honoring the ancestors of the house, paying attention to the earth shrine, the Tingan shrine, and also paying attention to the deities that I work with a lot, which are the water deities and the mountain deities. So even though within the Dagara perspective, it is not necessarily called Voodoo, but referred to mostly as traditional medicine, I'm thinking that it is the same thing. We're working with the energies of nature to help enhance our health, our wellness, our healing potential, our capacity to expand our mind consciousness and understand nature or understand the universe from a humanistic perspective. Where I'm coming from is a small island in the Caribbean. The indigenous name is Ichi Roganum, and the English or the Eurocentric name is Barbados. So this is a small island with about maybe 280,000 persons living there. And I can't say from a traditional perspective that there are groups that have come through the years, moving through the slavery period, to say that there are local groups that have maintained the traditional African practice or practices. We have an insertion of that type of medicine through the Cuban community. I'm not sure how long they have been operating there. And then we have, to a lesser extent, a group that they call the Spiritual Baptists, but they're using more of a Eurocentric construct in terms of the Bible theology to interpret into a type of Afrocentric experience. And I have no issues with that, but I'm just saying that from that perspective, it is a stepping stone towards returning home, towards returning to the traditional indigenous practices of your lineage, which leads you straight back to the continent, to the motherland, to Africa. On this trip now, on this journey, I've seen some videos on the Koku energy, the Koku warrior god energy, and it struck something in me. I believe it struck something in me also because last year, around April, around the same time, I went through the Hunter's initiation in Upper West, in Laura. So I see this as a continuation from that initiation. And I also felt deep within myself that there were other activities within the continent for some reason that I'm attracted to outside of the Dagara element. So tapping into that energy outside of the Dagara traditional ways of connecting to nature, and now moving into the Awe traditional way of also connecting with nature. To me, it feels like a perfect blend. To me, it feels like a perfect marriage. To me, it feels like, yes, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what is supposed to be happening to my say or my cry. Jogbe. Right. So I feel as though that aspect of myself needed to connect with these elements, not just from one traditional perspective, but from other or many traditional perspectives. Within this house, it's different. The there's a lot more movement. There's a lot more dynamics. The rituals, to me, ritual is a beautiful experience. Ritual, it's like putting the key into a lock. Ritual allows the person, or allows me, to unfold into a realm where sometimes you're not aware of the information that is coming through. But as you sit quietly and you contemplate, the information just rushes and you get many realizations about life, about the universe, about nature, about relationships, about the entities, etc., etc. I think Kabacha is doing an excellent job in terms of promoting tradition. And Kabacha's presence is definitely there online in terms of broadcasting tradition. So it was through Kabacha that I was able to access, that I was able to see, that I was able to connect. I think the connection between Togbe Havara and myself is not necessarily for me to see it and understand it. There's a slight language barrier, so I'm getting bits and pieces of how he's actually perceiving me. And I guess sometimes, without having to ask any questions, there are persons who would maybe come and who are not necessarily serious about the work. They may have different agendas for probably wanting to get into the work. But the feedback that I am getting is that Togbe Havara recognizes that I'm very serious about the work, that I'm ready for the work, that I'm ready to take on that I'm ready to carry the banner of what this house stands for, what this house is holding, and what this house is trying to project into the community, into the world. And you know, seeing him from most of the videos online, I don't remember ever seeing him smiling. And I said to myself, wow, this man doesn't smile. You know, it's only when I got here then, the first meeting, that's the first time I saw him smile, when he said, okay, I have some spiritual weight for you. So I said, wait. So I started to, you know, and he started to laugh. I said, okay, yeah. So the experience, the connection is a beautiful one. I said in another interview that between the next 10 to 15 years, the world will come to know more about this tradition. The world will come to recognize this tradition. The world will come to respect this tradition. The world will start to, a lot of the other communities will start to return to this continent, recognizing their contributions that they have made indirectly through other schools of thought. So the rise is evident. The rise is unstoppable. The rise, it has to happen. It will happen. So I'm looking forward, before I transition, to see that experience, to see that respect coming from the global stage, to see that understanding coming from other spiritual communities. And I'm sure it will be a beautiful thing. You're speaking about persons from an Afrocentric perspective, of course.
Yeah, well, just around the world. Just around the world.
Yeah, you cannot feel unsatisfied. You will be glad deeply that you would have made a decision to connect with your own ethnic ancestry. And I say that because it's a journey home. It's a journey where your spirit is returning to the original collective energetics from a community perspective. In other words, through your own lineage, through your bones, through your energy, those of us who would have been transported to the Americas would have lost, most of us would have lost that essential connection. So mechanisms and devices have been put in place for us to disconnect, for us to see it as something evil, for us to see it as something bad. And so far, my return to the tradition has said nothing of the sort in relation to negativity involved in the practices of these traditions. You know, we are all humans. None of us are perfect. And within any ethnic group, you will have some persons who will go the good road and you will have some persons who will go the bad road. That's natural phenomenon. So young persons especially looking for a way to connect spiritually, check from an Afrocentric lineage perspective. Rediscover yourself through your DNA. I found that over the years I've been trying to connect spiritually by using other ethnic groups' traditions, like Chinese, for example. I have a Chinese medicine clinic, and I've been practicing for close to 25 years. All right, but and not just from a clinical perspective, also through Taoist type rituals and meditations and that kind of stuff, trying to connect with the elements in the same way. But when I came to Africa and I started to connect through the lens of the Afrocentric school, I find my progress speeded up 100-fold in terms of connecting and having the awareness and having the information coming in much faster compared to the other traditions that I was connecting with. And I fully understand that dynamic. Why? Because in my bones, within my DNA, it is connected to this continent. It's connected to my ancestors. It is connected to those who were here before the great crossing of the Atlantic. That re-emergence, that reconnection was like a light just turned on. Well, for me, the language is not an issue. To me, what is important is the energy and the body language. So I tap into the feeling, the vibration in the atmosphere, and I tap into, you know, the body language. And the same thing with the Upper West, the Dagara. Over the years, I started to learn the language a bit, but the same thing, I went through the process and I could understand energetically the dynamics of what was going on because I've opened up myself through energetic type practices for many years, you know? So it's like a child crying. You can tell from the sound of the cry whether the distress is mild or whether the distress is intense based on the sound. So for me, it's the same thing. We're using sound when we're making invocation. We're making sound when we're trying to say something. And behind that sound is an intent. So if you relax enough and you listen, you can pick up the vibrational energy that is emanating within the space, outside of understanding the dynamics of the language. And that's how I've been able to tap in to the elements. That's how I've tapped to the elements in relation to the rituals and the various initiations that I've done. For me, coming here and going through the programs there's not been any issues. There's not been any issues. And for me, making a referral to this house or making a referral to Togbe Havar cannot be an issue, will not be an issue. And since this is from the medicine's perspective, in terms of what he's offering or what the house has to offer. There is professionalism, and once I see that there's a level of professionalism, and you produce what you say you're going to produce, then for me, making the referral is in order. So if you're watching this video and you've been thinking about coming to this house and you're not sure whether you should come or not, I've gone through some of the program thus far, and I am happy, and I will refer again anyone who is interested to, do not hesitate, come and experience it for yourself.